Hello, hello, my friends. It's about that time. We are back at it again with a special edition of the Rivet Show. Let me see. My mic is not responding as well as I thought it would. Let me see if I can just turn it up just a little bit. The weird thing that I have to do with the gain knob on this microphone is that I have to like very lightly touch it. If I touch it too much, it'll just boost it like crazy. But anyway, we are here with a very unique edition of the Rivet Show today. As you all know, I've been streaming Nier Automata lately, and typically I'll stream games, but this is a first for me. I'm going to be participating in the Ludum Dare that's happening this weekend, September 30th at 6 p.m., and it lasts until that following Monday at 6 p.m. For those that don't know, Ludum Dare is a game jam where you are tasked with creating a game either by yourself or in a team over the course of 72 hours. I've been, in my free time, if you followed my Twitter at all, I've been kind of messing around with Godot, Asaprite. Is that how you say Asaprite? I imagine people probably just say Asprite. But the E in the middle throws me off, and I want to go Asaprite. But I'm going to be participating in that, and today, this is mostly just a test stream. I'm not going to be playing anything. I'm not going to be overly engaging or anything like that. This is mainly just to test my overlay, update my software, make sure everything is all good, download stuff, maybe look at a couple tutorials. It's not going to be super long because this weekend is going to be nothing but stream for like Friday. It's going to be 6 hours. Saturday it's going to be 8 hours. Sunday it's going to be 8 hours. And the reason that I'm doing that is because a lot of people have said that Ludum Dare can be a very, very lonely thing where you're just kind of like sitting there focused on your game, especially if you're doing it by yourself. And I figured it would be a good idea just to have, one, document the process so that I could look back on it and see where I went wrong, see anything that I could improve for future game jams. And secondly, for you all to act as my rubber ducky. So that if you don't know what that means, for programmers, a rubber ducky is typically would be like an item or a person that you have next to you that you can run your ideas by. They don't even have to talk. They don't have to do anything or respond. It can literally just be a rubber ducky. And the act of talking through what you're doing helps you get to better solutions and really just kind of evaluate what you're doing. So that's another purpose. And also there's sort of an entertainment factor or whatever. I get the feeling that streaming this will make me stay on task more, you know, because with Twitch, I've always said that I want to play JRPGs on Twitch because if I don't, then I won't play as many. Like it forces me to sit down and do a thing for multiple hours at a time. So I think I would be more able to focus if I was streaming the entire thing. So that's a lot of the rationale behind doing this. It's going to be a long endeavor. And I figured that if I'm going to be sitting at my desk for 8 hours, I might as well be streaming it, you know? But anyway, we are going to, by the way, this is not going to follow the same structure as my other streams. It's not going to be focused solely on like doing an entertaining thing, you know? It's mostly going to be me working. That's it. It's going to be me working and occasionally commenting on stuff, maybe asking for help or ideas or just conversating or whatever. So just putting it out there that this is mostly going to be for documentation and just to keep me on track and to record this. So anyway, I made a unique overlay for the game jam as well. Let me just pull it up real quick. So this is roughly how everything's gonna look. I know I have OBS up here and in the left. That's something that I need to figure out if I'm gonna, because I won't be able to see chat. I won't be able to see alerts or anything like that. So maybe it would be good for me to set up like my phone or something on a charger with my stream up so that I could see alerts or what. I'll still hear them, of course. But obviously I can't have OBS up all the time like this. This screen over here, I mean, I guess I could just set up a browser source. I might do that. Set up a browser source for Chrome, because the idea behind this screen up here in the top, the idea behind that is so that you can see any of the tutorial, because I'm gonna be looking at a lot of tutorials and videos and all that. So I'm gonna have tutorials and videos up in that upper left screen, and then this bottom right screen, the bigger screen, is going to be my workspace. So whatever software I have open at the time, I'm gonna be looking at that. So, but yeah, we've got the title right here. We've got the read the recent events thing right here, and then chat will show up in this blank space down in the bottom left. And then up here we've got my webcam. Pretty simple stuff. I didn't want to make anything too super complex. Let me change this from my display capture to a browser capture. I think that would solve the problem, because really all I'm gonna have up there is Chrome. You know. Also, welcome to anyone. I did post in the Ludum Dare forum that I was going to be streaming some prep stuff today, so welcome. I appreciate any advice, any stories, anything like that would help me out, because this is my first game jam, so I'm a little nervous. I don't know if I'm going to finish it, and to be fair, I want to tell you guys that I'm not necessarily set on finishing a game, you know. I really just kind of want to dip my toes in and get a feel for how it will. Like, of course I'm going to try and make a game. I'm going to try my best to finish a game in 72 hours. But it's okay if I don't. I think I'll learn some things. And I think that's more important. This is more just an excuse to have me sit down for an entire weekend and try to make something, to get something out, because otherwise I won't. I'm really bad at the motivation for that kind of shit. Let me see if I can. So we'll do Chrome. Oh, that's not, no, that's a browser source, not a browser capture. Let's see. Window capture, that's what I want. Do that, and then we'll do Chrome. There we go. What do you know? Okay, I'm gonna crop some of this. We'll fit this in here. Oh God. Okay, so put it below. There we go. Oh yes, that's so much better. It was weird trying to like scale these boxes. You know, you never really think of it, especially in pixel art, because the way that I had to do this is that I had to like divide the resolution of the window by like 2, or like by percentages. So like I think this entire pixel art overlay is at a resolution of 198 by 108, and I upscaled that by 100 times, or 1,000 times actually, 1,000 times to, or it's like, no, it's not 1,000 times, it's 1,000% to get 1920 by 1080, which is what my base canvas is. So that was an interesting endeavor. I think I am going to. I think the only problem with that is that it's like, it's really small. Like, it's really small. You can't at all read what is on there. Let me see if I can look at my Twitch stream maybe. Yeah. Okay, we'll look at that. So it's at 720p, which I'm already at 1080p. On my base canvas, so it's already being downscaled to 720. Yeah, I don't know. It is kind of blurry. I mean, I could like zoom in more. Like, what happens when I zoom in one more? Yeah, it's still not super easy to read. Even though it's like pretty fucking big on my screen. Let me see what happens if I move it over here. It's still a little bit, just a little bit blurry. Maybe I'll need to up my, because I'm not playing a game, maybe I'll need to up my, my canvas resolution to 1080p instead of the 720p that I have. Because I think that might fix the issue, because right now this entire image is being downscaled to 720p. So I might look into that, because I'm not doing anything intensive, and the main reason that I didn't have it set to 1080p before is because that 720p is the most common resolution, but I don't think it's going to be enough for something where I'm doing a lot of reading and you're going to be looking at my code and shit like that. I don't think it's going to be super fun to watch when you can't even see what the fuck I'm doing. And then another alternative is that I could make this bigger screen bigger. And because I just really think nobody's going to be able to read anything on this smaller screen. I mean, kind of. Like you kind of can when I have it real zoomed in. On my end, at least. That's like, I feel like an old person looking at this other screen because the words are so big. But yeah, I guess we'll figure it out. Okay, so the other thing that I'm probably gonna have to do, we're gonna scroll through a lot of these posts as well, I think. I'm just gonna put this up here on the main screen since there's nothing, just in the interest of reading. If I zoom it in one more time, okay, yeah, if I zoom it in one more time, it's not too bad to read. So I'll just have that up in the background. By the way, I'm just gonna be listening to like fucking Elder Scrolls music. That's probably gonna be a common theme in over the course of the jam. I'm just gonna be listening to nothing but video game music because I can't listen to my regular music because I'll get fucking copyright striked. Okay. So we will be scrolling through some of these posts. Let's look at the jam rules first, in case any of you are unfamiliar. LD Jam rules. And plus, it would be good for me to familiarize myself with them a second time, you know. Okay. So, Ludum Dare is an event where you create a game from scratch in a weekend based on a theme. By the way, that we are still in the middle of theme voting. So there's I think there were like 1,800 themes. Over 1,800 themes on the, at the beginning, but then there was a phase of the voting called the theme slaughter, where everybody went through every single theme, or as many themes as they could, and just like did kind of like a Tinder, like either you want it or you don't want it. And then now we're just doing theme voting. But anyways, there's going to be a theme, and the theme does not get revealed until the start. So 6 p.m. on Friday is going to be when the theme is going to be. I'm going to find out the theme when we start the stream. So that's going to be when I'm going to be brainstorming around the theme. So there are two events in tandem when it comes to Ludum Dare. There is the jam, and there is the compo. The jam is the regular game jam event. It's you can work in a team or as an individual, and you create a game in 72 hours. You can use any tools or libraries, and you're free to start with any base code I may have or we may have, which is going to be important because I think when we scroll through some of these posts, I'm gonna see if I can maybe download like a template or something like that. Anything that'll help me out in the beginning. This is a neat stream layout. I like the yellow border around the overlapping shapes. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I tried to see. I wanted to see if I should make a line that divides them both, like just two squares. But I ended up taking out that middle line because it looked a little bit too cluttered. But I do like it. I am overall satisfied with it. Where is? Why can't I? Oh, it's locked. That's why I couldn't adjust it. I'm gonna crop this just a wee bit. Yeah, it works well here. Makes it very aesthetic. I do be liking my yellows and purples. Yeah, I'm just gonna crop it there for now, and then we'll hop into Asaprite here in a bit. I know people are gonna be pissed at me every time I say Asaprite because I don't think that's how people say it. But that's how I say it. I'm gonna hop into that here soon, and I'll adjust the overlay so that the borders more match. And I think it'll make this 1440p or this bigger screen more readable as well. And also welcome Papa Burp. Thank you for the feedback. I appreciate it a lot. So in addition to that, we're free to use any third-party artwork / music / audio assets. Yeah, big screen issues. Yeah, I was just saying that I think I'm probably gonna have to up my base canvas to 1080p instead of the 720p because the 720p is for my games. And those take up a lot of like network bandwidth and shit for people. But I think if I'm just gonna be working on stuff, 1080p is gonna be fine as long as there's nothing fast or anything crazy going on screen. We're free to use any third-party artwork, music, audio assets, or assets we previously created. The only caveat to that is that we have to opt out of their respective categories, graphics or audio, depending on if it's something that we didn't have the right to use or something that was pre-existing. So I personally am going to be making everything the day of. I don't think I'm going to be making anything previously. I know some people have, like, we're making like sprite packs, and just like generic assets to use before they know what the theme is. But I'm gonna make everything from scratch from the beginning. We strongly recommend you only use assets that have the legal right to use, obviously. So it's our responsibility if we use something that we don't have the right to use. Non-video game entries obviously is not super relevant to us. So that's the jam. The jam is pretty straightforward. You know, there's not a whole lot of restrictions. It's basically just make the game. You go, bro. And then there's the compo. The compo is classic Ludum Dare, which is what Ludum Dare used to be. But many they call it Ludum Dare hard mode. And this is where you have to create a game entirely from scratch. You must work alone. Everything must be created in 48 hours, so it's less than the 72. And then you must provide and publish your source code. You don't have to publish your source code in the game jam. I think I am still. I'm basically doing the compo, just I love to create a gay from scratch. Craft fucking a game where you craft your gay. Craft your gay, be the gay that, isn't that Sims? That's just The Sims. The Sims is craft your gay simulator. So yeah, I'm basically going to be doing the compo, except the only thing that I'm not doing is the 48 hours. I want the 72 hours. So I'm technically doing the jam, but I'm doing the spirit of the compo. We're free to use any tools or libraries. You're free to start with any base code you have. At the end, you'll be required to share your source code. Yeah, I imagine that's gonna be me for most of the game jams to do. Always aim for compo, but always slip into jam. Yeah. Yup. And compo games are typically reviewed harsher than jam games. So there are some other things that I'm gonna have to set up. I try to stick it to the 48 hours, but college, man. But I'm free, so maybe this time's the one. Yeah, who knows? Yeah, I just got done with college as well this past summer, so I'm glad that I have the time now to like actually focus on this stuff. Over the summer, I did a lot of new. Or as soon as I finished college, I was like, I'm gonna start doing everything. Like right now, I ordered a new MIDI keyboard. Like this is some equipment that I'm gonna get use of during the jam. I'm gonna have. Let me see if I can switch right here. I've got my MIDI keyboard right here that I'm going to be using in Studio One. I've got my microphone, of course. Got my audio interface. I've been learning electric guitar. I've been learning drums. So I have all of the shit that I need available to me to make some good audio for this jam. So I'm really excited. Even though I know that the audio is not gonna be dude, we're like same but different. Two different NB goblins, parallel gremlins. My good audio is just beatbox and Audacity. Yeah, I know that music is not going to be the thing I'm going to want to focus on. I've been doing a lot of music stuff, and I'm going to have to restrain myself from like putting too much time into the audio before. I mean, if I have time, like if I'm done with my mechanics or whatever, because I'm going to have to get mechanics out of the way real quick, and I'm going to have to really polish the shit out of it. But if I have the time, I'm going to make some good fucking music. I'm going to make some real good music. Anyway. So this is another thing that we're going to have to set up. I don't need to share my source code. All I really need to do for the jam is just to post my game. So, love ads that interrupt streamers chatting. Twitch ads are wild. Me too, McDonald's. Space Invaders. I hate the Twitch ads. They're the worst. To be honest, I might just disable them if I can for the jam, just because it's going to be like such a long period of time. Or I don't know, maybe it's smarter to keep them on. Who knows? But I'm going to have to... I'm still probably going to host my game on like itch.io, maybe GitHub. But we'll see what happens. But our source code is basically just the project file. Special exemptions for the compo. Fonts are allowed. Texture mash. So this is fun because there's been a lot of like just run ads during the jam when you got a pee or whatever. Oh yeah. I think I have a button on my stream deck that runs an ad whenever I want to. I might do that, to be honest. This has been a source of debate on the Ludum Dare forum, because of the inception of AI art generation as of late. So these are important. So fonts are allowed in the compo. A logo/intro screen for your brand is allowed. Photos and recordings you make of people or things are allowed. You have to acquire them during the event, though. Content generators are allowed. In fact, they're encouraged. SFXer, the popular sound effect generator, was originally created for Ludum Dare. And then texture masks, brushes, drums, loops, sampled instruments, and similar assets are allowed, but only if they are used to create a derivative work, where it's like you take something and you make it more unique. And they go over like a little bit of a review of that kind of stuff. Like this is bad derivative. So like a palette swap of Mario that's just like straight up like, it's really easy to tell that the original sprite was used heavily. And then there's stuff like this. Like this is a good derivative, like making it different. It's not the exact same asset. And then obviously there's programmer art. But people have been talking about AI art generation, and they're like, where does that fall? Does that fall under a bad derivative? Like, can you not use it at all? Because as you know, AI art generation tools, or at least the AI art generation tools that have been prevalent in the discourse, are typically trained off of work or artwork that's been stolen from artists. And that's not to say that AI art generation tools are always bad. I think they're great. I think they can be great. That is. But they're not great when they're trained off of stolen art. And that's the main crux of the issue. I think too many people miss the issue, or miss the point of it, where they're like, it's not fair, or like it's too easy, or it's like it's against the spirit because you're like you press a button and you get art. I don't have a problem with that, to be honest. I don't have a problem with people just pressing a button and getting art, at least on an individual level. Where it becomes a problem is when that art was generated off the stolen art of others. And that's kind of the crux of the whole issue. And people try to get around it in a way by leaning into that argument about it's not easier or whatever, it's still art or whatever. But we'll get into that whole debate. I made a couple posts on here as well, so we'll get into that at some point. Anyway, source code, derivative works. I'm not planning on doing anything derivative, so it's not really going to apply to me. I think consensual training sets would make for very powerful and non-ambiguous legally tools. I'd love to see that happen. Yeah, if we could get an AI art generation tool that was trained off of royalty-free images, or like stock images, or images of your own, or if there was a tool where you could take your own art or art that you own and like put it into a generator and then it would do stuff to it or generate a new piece from that art, I think that's a great idea. Fantastic. I think that would be great. But right now, a lot of these tools are made by companies that want to profit off of training their generators to make art that's similar to artists that haven't consented to their art being used in that way. Okay, so for both the Jam and Compo, this is going to be relevant for us. So both events have a submission hour that takes place at the end of each event. So at the very end, 72 hours after the start of the event, there is an hour that we can submit our games. In the case of the Compo, after that 1 hour, submissions for Compo will close and you'll have to submit your entry to the Jam, and then porting can happen after the initial 48 hours. So if we have, like, if I make a game and I post it and I need to port it to a different platform, I can do that whenever I want. It's just the longer that I wait, the less time people will have to play it. Certain bug fixes are allowed. You can't add new features, but if something broke or didn't work correctly as you were finishing up, you can fix this after the deadline. But again, the longer you wait, the more that will affect your rating. You were asked to highlight the changes you make in your submission with like a change log. And then you probably won't get a second chance with some players, but for future players, that'll help immensely, you know? Okay, for submission, you will be uploading screenshots to the websites, but you'll have to upload and host your binaries elsewhere. So that means that we're going to have to host our game someplace that is not the Ludum Dare website. And I think the most likely, like if I'm going to make it, port it to HTML5, and it's not going to be like a Windows executable or anything like that, I'm probably going to host it on itch as well. But we'll see how far that goes. That's something that I'm going to have to check on when I update my Godot software. I'm gonna have to make sure that I download the export templates for all that and make sure that I can do that. But where will us goblins host our non-binaries? I know, right? Oh no. I think itch.io would be a good place to host your non-binaries and transgenders. You know. Really, to be honest, itch is probably one of the best. I heavily recommend itch to like anyone, just to go check out or like put games there or find new indie games. I always like to say that itch.io probably has one of the best games in existence somewhere in the backlogs, somewhere far into the search results that will never see the light of day. Because not enough people go on itch to like check out these games, you know? So you never know. Check out games. Yeah, I love itch, except it gets me banned from streams by accidentally sending a link sometimes. Oh, no. Okay, so judging. This is another thing. There is no panel of judges. In the Ludum Dare, the people that judge the games are the people that participate. All I want to do is paint.net and then boom, Moobot be like, you're evil scum. All participants that submit a game are allowed to judge. So everyone that makes a game usually will rate like 20 games at least. It's like after you submit your game, pretty much you spend the rest of the time just rating other games. And in that, if you want your game rated, you should rate other games. So the various categories that we can rate them on: innovation, fun, theme. Theme, I don't know. There is a rule we'll see later that that says that there is no rule that you technically have to follow the theme, but there is a category for judging it. So there's graphics, audio, humor, mood, and overall opinion of the game. And there's a special category called coolness. So we're gonna have to see how cool we can make our game. Also, we prioritize people with higher coolness. Oh, more players will find and likely rate your game if you have a high coolness. This sounds like that sounds like a stat that I would have in like Earthbound or something, or just some sort of like weird indie JRPG. Coming soon, we'll soon have a system in place that credits you for leaving good feedback on a game. Nice. Coolness abuse. I don't know what that means, but I guess we'll find out. Prizes, obviously there is no prize. The prize for the game is, or the prize for the jam is your game. So, and that's fine. I just want to make a game. I want to get a game out there. So, and this is what I was talking about earlier. Officially, no, you are not required to use the theme. We will not disqualify you for disregarding it. To us, the theme is just a single voting category. So that's good, even though the theme is pretty much going to be my entire concept for, like, it's going to inform my entire concept for the game that I want to make. That said, it's worth understanding that all voting categories in Ludum Dare are opinions, the opinions of your peers. So while we don't enforce that your game meets some minimum theminess, the community does see a significance in a theme. For real, the theme is half of what, yeah, right? It's like getting a writing prompt. Like, and there's like all this voting and shit around it. Like, why not use the theme, right? But it is a social rule, so we don't have to, and we don't have to fit it like 100% or whatever. And I like this too. It is fine to prefer games that do not use the theme, but don't be rude about it. Very good. And that's it. That's really it on the rules. There's not a whole lot there to limit us. The slaughter and stuff is what makes Ludum so much more fun than itch jams, right? So, we're gonna take a look at the theme voting. So, there was the theme slaughter, of course. You guys are gonna be able to see all of my votes, so that's fun. But there were like 1,800 themes, like I said before, and they distilled it down to 4 rounds of voting. Each one is light 'em up green and red like a Christmas tree, baby! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I think it's 16 per day. So that leaves us, what, fucking 16 times 4. 64. 64 themes made it to the end. So I voted on making connections, use it or lose it, every 10 seconds, ecosystem, breaking the chains, leave something behind. The joke themes often get 17th place, the deja vu echoes ones. I really like this breaking the chains theme. I'm really looking, I really hope that one goes through, or maybe leave something behind. This one gave me a lot of ideas that I could do. Every 10 seconds could be fun, but I feel like time limited shit is like a common, or I don't know, maybe it wouldn't be that bad. I tried to vote mainly on like what I thought wouldn't be too ambiguous, I suppose, to or would result in a samey game, you know? It has to be just ambiguous enough. Like, Overgrown, I guess I shouldn't have voted on it. I guess that I wanted it because it is very ambiguous, but I just like the aesthetic of Overgrown. All in One Room could be fun. Useless superpowers could be fun. Yesterday, or today, we voted Folklore. I voted Pick Your Poison, and Nothing is Permanent. But again, we won't know what or what the theme is. Do you know you can still change votes until final round comes out? Plenty of time to be indecisive. Yeah, I guess we can change like any of these if we wanted. I think control the level, not the player, could be a cool concept. I personally don't find it cool. I guess like I imagine when I think of control the level, not the player, I think of like a tower defense or something like that. Yeah, because final round is the winners from those 3 rounds. Ooh. Oh yeah, and we're gonna get final round tomorrow. So the winners from these 3 rounds are gonna show up tomorrow, and that's gonna be the final vote. So that's gonna be interesting. I can't wait to see what makes it to the end. We've got, let me see. All right, and that's really it. There's not much else. We'll get the theme voted on tomorrow, and then we'll find out what it is on Friday at the beginning of the stream. So that'll be interesting. And also, I found out Ludum Dare 52 is on January 6th of 2023. So if I don't finish a game this time, it's only going to be 3 more months until I can prepare for another one. So that'll be really fun. But yeah, that's about it. Pretty much the rest of the stream is going to be going over my tools and making sure they all work. They're all updated. Some people have it saying 52 is in April, so it's unclear right now. Oh, I guess we'll find out. I mean, either way is fine, I suppose. I'll probably, if I like this jam enough, I'll probably take part in like itch jams. Oh, and hey, look, I'm featured on the Ludum Dare page. My stream is fun. That's probably where most people are coming from. So hello, my 8 viewers. I appreciate you all being here. This isn't gonna be like a long stream or whatever. It's only gonna be a couple hours just because I'm testing my overlay, making sure everything works, updating my shit, going over my tools, and kind of like giving a little of a prep to my usual viewers to let them know how things gonna work. I came from the sidebar because it reminded me about your stream. I wanted to stop by but lost track of the time. I appreciate it though. Okay. So, oh shit, I joined 10 days ago. I guess I didn't realize that it was that short of a time since I joined the jam. Okay. Anyway, so here is the list of shit that I'm going to be using. Mainly this. So I'm going to be using Godot. I can't remember what the version number is, and that's something that I need to confirm. But I really like Godot. Well, I had the vibe you were an old hat it. Yeah, I don't know why I probably... I don't know. Maybe it's just the way that I talk or like the way that I use Markdown. I don't fucking know. But yeah, I'm new, completely new. This is the first game jam that I've ever done. Remember to download the export templates unless you're using Steam, which I think does it yourself. I'm old and have to look at the markup every time. Yeah, that's a thing that I need to get done today. I need to get my export templates. I need to confirm what version I'm using. I am probably using 3.5, which is what I want to be using. I'm not using Godot 4 because I've heard that it is pretty unstable. And then for audio, I'm going to be using Studio 1.5. I have my MIDI controller that you saw earlier. I do have a drawing tablet, but I'm most likely not going to use it unless it's for like non-pixel art. I prefer to use mouse for pixel art, but it's possible that maybe like backgrounds or something, maybe a title screen or something that I'll need to use Krita for. But I have it at my disposal. However, I'm most likely only going to be using my MIDI controller, Studio One, Asprite, and Godot. So those are the main tools. Even though the tools are pretty limited, You got one of those cool monitor tablets or one of the cheaper ones that are just a big weird gray square? I do have one of the cheaper ones. It's like it's nice. Like I gotta say, it's still very, very good. I enjoy it a lot. This is an XP Pen Deco 1. It's quite large. It has plenty of like shortcutty buttons on them. And I like it. I think it's fine. I don't think that I would need a tablet one, because not only do I have my drawing tablet, but I also have a Galaxy S22 Ultra, and the S22 Ultra, if you don't know, comes with a stylus, and this screen is pretty big, and I have done, if you want to check out my art Twitter, I do pretty much all of my art, I do all of my art now on my phone. Which is crazy to think about. I do all of my paintings. I do a lot of pixel art on my phone. I only really do art on my desktop if I think I'm going to use it in another program. But yeah, down below in my Twitch about, you can check out my art station. That's where I keep all of my paintings and all of my, it's kind of like my art portfolio. And then my Twitter is also, I post a lot of my art on there too. But yeah, I think now that we've gone over pretty much anything or everything, I'm going to take a look at my stuff, see if I can get that all figured out and make sure it's all updated. I've done some stuff in the Ibis app on my phone, but my screen's small and my fingers are big, so it doesn't work well. Yeah, I don't think that I could do art with just my fingers. I feel like even though my hands are very small, my hands and fingers are very small, I don't feel like I have a lot of accuracy when I'm doing things with my fingers. But yeah, my phone is just big enough to be able to do art things on, and then it also has the little stylus that comes with it, and it's been working great. I've done a lot of really complex paintings on there. I mean, there's some decent basic pixels on it, but boy, it's hard. Yeah, I imagine if I was going to do anything with fingers on a phone, it would probably be pixel art. That would be relatively easy to do. But even now that I have a stylus at my disposal, I use that for pixel art as well. Well, I'm just gonna I'm gonna hop into Aspirate real quick, actually, just to modify this overlay real quick. So I think I was going to, yeah, okay, I need to lower this just a tad. So probably, I want to say that's 5 pixels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's about right. Maybe. And then just do a line across. And then probably fill this in just a little bit. Oh no, that's not what I wanted. Actually, I was on the wrong layer. Wrong layer problems. Ooh, Aspirate, y'all a fancy person. My cheap ass using MS Paint and Paint.net all the time, like the Aspirate demo I tried about a decade ago. Aspirate is very nice. I enjoy the tools that come with it. They're very helpful, especially the tiling tools. Let's see. Get that right there. And then I'm not going to be able to fill it in with the fill tool because it's on a different layer. Let's do 2, I guess. And we'll just do this. Oh boy. I don't know if I want to add some stars, but I also don't. Okay. And then we'll erase this and we'll see how it looks. Dinky bink doo. All right. Save. Export. Hey, I got it right the first try. 5 pixels was exactly correct. Nice. Okay, so that's a little bit a little bit more defined. It's not as, I was like, I could probably zoom in just a little bit more. That's always good to guess right, right? Yeah, I'm still probably going to end up upscaling my base canvas once I've done, because I can't do it on the stream. I'm probably going to do it between, but I think it still looks pretty good at 720p. I just think it'll give a little bit more detail to the text once we get in there. But yeah, that's good. And then Asprite is obviously pretty straightforward. I don't think I need to update that at all. So let's open up Godot. Oh, I have Godot version 3.4, so maybe I do need to update to 3.5. This is, let me see. How do I even update? Update. I can't remember. Oh God. Oh jeez. Donors, license, third party, authors. Oh fuck. I'm probably just gonna have to download the. You gotta manually download it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's what I figured. Let's see. Yeah, I guess I downloaded Godot before 3.5 actually came out. It was about a month ago, so I guess that makes sense because I started messing around with Godot a couple months ago. All right, yeah, we'll just download that real quick. I don't need the C# because I'm going to be using GDScript. That's another important caveat there. I'm not going to be using C#, even though I do have experience with programming languages like Python. I can do some visual script and like Java and shit like that. I haven't messed with actual programming languages in a while. I have a basic programming knowledge, like I know programming concepts and I know syntax usually. But the specifics or whatever are kind of... I like using GDScript because of the limited Godot tutorials. They ain't in C#. Yeah, most of Godot's tutorials are in GDScript. That's the only flaw to Godot, I believe, is that there's not a lot of tutorials out there, and the ones that or the ones that do exist are in GDScript and not C#, even though you technically can use C#. Oh shit, did it install that fast? Holy fuck. Wait, or is it just the executable? Hold on. Let me see. What happens if I just open it now? Like, does it update on it? Oh, okay, yeah, no. I need to replace it just entirely. Yeah, I guess I didn't realize that it was just an exe. It's not a... You can't just open the new exe after unzipping. Yeah. I have all my Godot versions. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna delete 3.4. Why not? Fuck it. And then I'll extract this to my desktop. Boy. There we go. And we'll just stick that in a new folder. Godot 3.5. I'm glad I checked because I thought that I had 3.5, but I guess I didn't. Unpin that, and then we'll just pin that back up. All right, yeah, that was pretty easy peasy. I did do a few like tutorial projects. I have not messed with it in a while, but always important to finish your prep before jam. I usually don't have time, so I'm way more prepared than usual. Yeah, I definitely wanted to make sure that I have it prepped. Let me see. I'm just gonna open up this. I did the Heart Beast 2D action RPG tutorial. It was very fun. I learned a lot from it, even though there's a little bit of glitchiness with some of the mechanics. Yeah, this is, this one taught me a lot. I enjoyed it, quite a bit. And it looks like it's working now, actually. I could have swore that when I checked on it earlier that it wasn't working. Like there was something oh, that's what's not working. The bat AI, they don't chase me. I messed something up along the way that the bats don't chase me now. They do damage me still, but I messed up their AI and their vectors and shit, so they kind of just wander around and like sit in one place. I'm like 7 parts into the platformer one he's been doing. He taught me some interesting new ways to do things I already knew how to do. It's funny his resources included music, but he didn't show us his preferred way to do music. Yeah, this one mainly just has the sound effects. But I still learned quite a bit just specifically here. I might use some of the mechanics that I did. And I think that's one disadvantage I'm going to have when I go into this is that I have only really done this tutorial to completion, and I think like maybe a couple others, but I'm still going to have to be looking up a lot of tutorials and a lot of things the entire time. I'm going to be like, that's why I have this other screen up here, is that I'm going to be looking at tutorials the entire time, and I want to make sure that people know the tutorials I'm looking at. Let's see, project. So what install Android build template? What? My only successful compo entry is when I was brand new to Godot and could only do like button tutorials. Genshin Impact tutorials. I feel like I'm so glad that I picked Godot and not Unity. Because I don't know, like I know that Unity's fine. Unity is a perfectly valid way to develop games, but the amount of asset swaps and like the weird like generic just in general, like it just gives me icky vibes, you know? That's why I picked Godot, because it's open source and it's free and I don't have to pay for it at any point. But yeah, Unity and like Unreal and shit give me weird icky vibes. Let's see. So how do I export? So there's export. Yeah, okay. So I don't think I've... Yeah, so no export template. So I definitely don't have the template. What's the best way to find or to get these templates? Do I download them in? You click add and click something and it yells at you, and then you download it from the manager. It gives you a button for it. Okay, so I can do it within. So add. I'm going to do Windows Desktop and HTML. The red text had a Linkito export manager. Oh, okay. Manage export templates. Nice. Best available mirror. Other installed versions. Okay, no, I'm just gonna... I think I did install the export, or I downloaded a template maybe for the 3.4, but I don't know. I'm just gonna delete that. Okay, so download and install. It just downloads them all. Oh, that's convenient. I like that. But yeah, just gotta make sure that my templates are available and ready to go. And thank you, Papa Burp. That's very helpful. I'm hoping that... I can't wait to see if there's going to be anybody else that's going to be streaming during it. And I can't wait to see if anybody will be hanging out and giving advice and all that. No problem. I just did it like yesterday, so the info is fresh. Okay, so I think we have it. Let's see. HTML5. The RC edit tool must be configured in the editor settings. Export Windows RC edit. Okay. I'll keep that in mind, but I think I'm going to be exporting to HTML5 because I don't think I'm going to be making anything crazy. Maybe I'll hang out when I'm taking breaks. Yeah, when I'm taking breaks, I think I'm definitely going to be hanging out in a couple Twitch chats. Hey, thank you so much for the follow, Papa Burp. I appreciate you so much. It was great. It's been great talking to you and getting advice and bonding over this. But yeah, yeah, I imagine most people are going to be busy with the jam, but I can't wait to see just in general anybody that stops by to be my rubber ducky and maybe give me some advice or ideas or feedback or whatever. I'm also going to have my wife probably is going to be sitting right here. I think I have. By the way, I do have like a whole room over here that's just filled to the brim with yeah, there's shrimps. But yeah, I am in a office that has 4 computers. My wife is right to my right. One of my roommates, Temp, his PC's right there, and then his partner is right here, Shrimps. We got 4 computers in this room. So, but they're going to be working most likely for most of the jam, and then my wife is probably going to be right here, so she'll also be a rubber ducky for me. Do what? Oh shit! Yeah. Okay. Never mind. Shrimps is going to be here too, because Shrimps is going to be here too because they cut their hours at their workplace, so they're. I'm gonna have multiple rubber duckies, even if nobody's gonna be in the chat. We also do have 5 cats, so I thought there was a cat too, but one of the people was just holding a sweater. But yes, there are 5 cats around, so you may see them in the background. We don't have a lot of cat trees or anything around here, so but they occasionally will jump up in my lap or on a place they're not supposed to be. So. We did have a cat murder one of the computers in here for the longest time. One of our cats dumped a full can of Dr. Pepper into Shrimps' PC, and it kept running. It was on when we walked into the room, and we found this out. Like the Dr. Pepper was like sizzling on the graphics card, like fucking getting in there and just evaporating and getting all sticky and shit. It was the worst. That computer died for like months. We had to replace the CPU on it. It was awful. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it ruined the motherboard. That's what it was. Jesus Christ, I would cry. To be fair though. Oh no, yeah, there was definitely crying. There was definitely crying, but to be fair, that was probably the best computer for it to happen to, because everything else, every other computer in here has a lot more expensive components in it, so. I yelled when my dad spilled milk on my laptop for Christmas. I was so scared. Oh no. Milk. The 4 computer stations lived in harmony until one of you attacked. But yeah, it's mostly just gonna be pizza and probably shrimps. We're just gonna be hanging out during the jam and getting shit done. Pizza, shrimp pizza. Shrimp pizza. You know, maybe that wouldn't be too bad. That sounds like something that would be in the California Pizza Kitchen. If you've ever been to California Pizza Kitchen, it's like a rich people pizza. Hawaiian pizza, except instead of ham, it's shrimp. Fantastic. I'm not gonna say anything. It's not a pizza anymore. Okay, so I did get that is the most non-binary household I've ever heard. Shrimp's pizza, I love it. We are all incredibly gay, so yeah, half of us are trans, and then my wife is cis, and Temp is cis, but they're both still very queer. Okay, I think I got my templates done. I don't think there's anything else really in here. So I'm just gonna quit out of that. I've updated that. I think we're good. The main thing I think now for prep is just gonna be maybe downloading a template. maybe we're just gonna read through some of this stuff just to keep it. Oh yeah, I'm going to see if I have my notes app that I wrote down kind of like a plan for how things are gonna go. At least until I figure out the theme. Okay, so here's the plan. Love the cat background on Chrome. I've had it for a long time. It's very violently red, and I've just been too lazy to change it. Oh fuck! I can't zoom in on it. That's lame. Let's see, maybe I'll just do like a screenshot of it. That's gonna be something. I'm definitely gonna have to up the resolution. I think that's gonna be a priority. It is a bit violently red for my sensitive autistic eyes, but the cat silhouette is very cute. Okay. So we're gonna. Can I zoom in just a bit more, maybe, possibly? Oh my god. Yeah, that's gonna be a bit of an issue. Maybe I'll just save it here, and then open it in the fucking Windows image editor. I know it will let me zoom here. There we go. Nice. Okay, so here's the plan. The plan is on Friday at the beginning of the jam. I'm gonna start the stream probably. It's not gonna be 5 p.m. I think I'll probably start at 5:30. The theme doesn't get announced till 6, but I'm gonna be streaming from probably like 5:30 to 11:30. So we're gonna start the jam. Once we learn the theme, I'm probably gonna brainstorm for like an hour. Try to figure out what the main mechanic I'm gonna focus on is gonna be. I'm only choosing one mechanic, and I'm gonna polish the fuck out of it. So we're gonna figure out what the main fun thing is gonna be. Start on it, and then finish a basic prototype before the end of the night. I know it may seem a little bit unrealistic to get an actual prototype done for my first jam before the end of the night, but I'm gonna try. Even if it's just basic art. So Saturday, the next day, this is another thing. I'm not going to be doing the what's it called? The stupid idea of staying up all night and just subsisting off caffeine and Vyvanse. I'm going to be sleeping for at least 8 hours, and I'm going to be eating. So we're gonna make sure that we are nourished and our brains are fine. Oh hell no, we getting sleep in these parts. Still weak picking a single mechanic. My ideas are too blurry to figure out what the mechanic is. Yeah, that's something that I struggled with today, because I was like, what mechanics realistically? What's the range of mechanics that I could probably think of doing? And I couldn't really think of anything. I looked at some of the themes and I was like, I just don't want to do anything too generic, you know? Like, because I feel like in Ludum Dare, the most likely thing for people to do is like a roguelike, you know, or like a platformer, or like a top-down shooter type deal. And I don't want to do anything that's too generic like that, you know. But we're gonna figure it out during that first hour of the stream. I'm gonna try and figure out what the fuck. My first 3 entries were just button clicker resource managers, but I lacked awareness that I was just making the same game every time. Yeah, I could get that. Because I definitely have game concepts that I'm partial to. I really want to make a JRPG at some point. I love the idea of Metroidvanias, so that's another thing, like a 2D side-scroller type deal for that. It's mainly JRPGs, Metroidvanias, and top-down roguelikes. Those are the 3 things that I would most likely default to. But I do kind of want to do something a little experimenty, or not necessarily experimenty, but just like something that's simpler, not something that's going to take forever to do. Because if I did a JRPG or like if I was going to do a JRPG for a Ludum Dare, I would have to do the battle system. That would be it. It would be probably a room, you do a battle, and maybe like a few battles or something like that, and that would be it. It would be, the entire focus would be on how the battle system functions. And that's entirely, that's a fine thing to do, I think. Because I do have a JRPG project that I've been working on in my free time, that it might be useful for me to try and make a JRPG battle system in during the Ludum Dare. So I guess that is an option. It would just have to be innovative, I think. I always strive for innovation, which is probably also why I have no idea what I'm doing most of the time. Yeah, that's a big, in my mind, in the back of my mind, I have just like that nagging, that nagging voice that's like, you don't want to be too similar, don't be too, you gotta be unique. And so I try not to make things that are too similar to things that already exist. In the exception of like I'll have an idea for a thing based off a thing that I'm inspired by. Like one of the games that I'm really inspired by is Golden Sun. Especially in terms of JRPGs. And I did just finish playing through Golden Sun and Golden Sun The Lost Age on stream recently. So if you want to check those out, those are in my VODs. But Golden Sun really inspires me in terms of JRPG battle systems and how that all works. And I want to make a game that kind of riffs on that. You know, it's like samey, like it does it from the same angle but has different mechanics and shit. So that's kind of how I approach a lot of this, is like I have games that I am inspired by and I want to make a riff on it that's unique, where you can still tell that the inspiration is there but it's better. Like I want to improve the things that I love playing, you know, because even though I love them a lot, Golden Sun still has a lot of places that it could improve. So, Saturday, we're going to try and finish that basic prototype before bed on Friday. It's fine if it doesn't happen, but I'm going to try. Saturday, we're going to start the stream at 10 a.m. I'm going to make sure that I get plenty of sleep, get up, get some breakfast, make sure that I'm all good, and then start the stream at 10 a.m. and go till 6. Just working on the game the entire time. And we're going to do fine-tuning the prototype and the core mechanics. I'm going to try not to add anything from the first. I'm not going to add anything to the first day. And then I'll be doing basic placeholder art as I go so that I don't get to the end and find out that I don't have time to do any art shit. And then just add extra content if I can. My games always end up arcadey, but the games I like to play are like Zelda and Okami, so I have no idea what my vibes are. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Ludum Dare kind of does limit you in a significant way, where it's just, you're more incentivized to make arcadey games, because arcadey games are designed to be played in 5 to 10 minutes, and that's the target time frame that you're trying to hit in Ludum Dare, because most people aren't going to play your game for more than 5 to 10 minutes. So it's always going to end up more arcadey than you like, I imagine. Which is fine. I think that's the only limitation to a game jam like this. You can't make anything that's like significantly complex. You're going to be making a base plate at most. Placeholders keep ending up the final asset for me. Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen for me too. So Saturday is going to be Saturday is going to be a lot of just the polishing the shit out of it. I was reading a post on the Ludum Dare forum where they were saying, it was the title of the video was like 4:44, 4 minutes and 40, or 4 hours and 44 minutes, where they're like, if it takes you, and this was focused on the compo because it's 48 hours. They were saying the amount of time that you take to make a game, you need to expect that you have 10 times as much time after that to polish the game into like a playable format that looks good. So they were saying you should aim to complete your game in 4 hours and 44 minutes, and then the rest of the jam you should be polishing the fuck out of it. And I think that's a good idea. Because we're in the jam, we're going to be doing working with 72 hours. So that means I've got roughly about 7 hours 7 hours to make the prototype, make the core thing that makes the game good, and then polish the fuck out of it for the rest of the jam. So I think if I don't get the basic prototype done before bed, I'll most likely finish the prototype, like get it done that following morning and then polish the rest of it. I thought I was saying make your game in 4 hours and spend 44 hours polishing it. Maybe I didn't pay close. You know, that would probably make more sense. I was just thinking like the 4. I was thinking of it in terms of like a clock or like a 44 semicolon 4 or 4 semicolon 44 translates to 4 hours and 44 minutes. But yes, that makes sense. 4 hours making your game and then spend 44 hours polishing it. But yes, I thought it was very useful. Very, very nice. If you want to check it on YouTube, it's yeah, I forget that semicolons are used as a ratio thing. Let me see if I can find it actually. We can take a look at it ourselves. There's a lot of really good posts on this wiki, by the way. I'm really enjoying them. Good luck with the plan, by the way. I'm great at written time management, terrible at follow through. Same, big same. I like this setup. I think that these mice are very, very cool. I think I saw someone at work bring in one of these mice that's like, it's got a really thin top, and I imagine it's for like a very specific hand shape, not like it's kind of sideways and not like this. It's kind of like sideways. That's really cool. But I like this. I like the Huan tablet. It looks nicer than the nasty mouse I'm using. I borrowed from my dad and forgot to replace with a good gaming mouse. When I was younger, and I was living with my dad, I used a trackball to play some games. It wasn't the best, but I still it was fun. It was a fun thing to remember playing with. But yeah, this is the 444 rule thing here. Oh man, I miss trackballs. Trackballs are objectively fun. Like
Can anybody guess what this is about who doesn't know what it's about?
They're a fun mouse to play with, even if they're not like in practice they might not be the greatest.
What I'm trying to say is the first part of your game development is very different from the second part of your game development. And that's what this 444 rule refers to. Can anybody guess what this is about who doesn't know what it's about? If you add up the two numbers, what do you get? What does that refer to, you think? 48 hours. The hours.
Oh, the subtitles
aren't
fully in there, so I'll just turn them off.
Now, the basic rule that I keep in mind for game development is if you spend X amount of hours on something, it's going to take that amount of hours times 10 to polish it into something good. So the 444 rule is literally my way of saying spend 4 hours making your game. You've got 4 hours to make a game. At the end of those 4 hours, you need to figure out whether it's good or not, whether you're happy with it. And if it is, you commit to it, and you keep going until the end. But all you do is polish. You don't add. You don't make new stuff. You don't introduce new mechanics. Just the stuff you made in the first 4 hours, polish. Make it feel nicer, make it look better, make it sound nice. Talk to somebody who can make the music if you don't have a musician or you aren't a musician.
Oh yeah, and that's a really important thing to keep in mind, is that this rule is probably even stricter for Ludum Dare because you don't really have 48 hours. I think somebody was saying on the forum that you, in actuality, probably have about 20 hours. If you're factoring in sleep and breaks and eating and all that shit, you're not actually gonna have the full 48 or 72 hours that you think you do. So really, the amount of time that I'm, even though I am sticking with the 72, or I am sticking with the jam, and I'm getting 72 hours instead of 48 hours, it's probably, I'm not going to have as much as seven hours. It's probably going to still be closer to 4 hours to make a prototype and then polish it. And knowing me, I'm still probably going to take a lot of extra time to do this, more time than I should, which is fine. I mean, I haven't done the thing where you stay up for like longer than you're expected to, or like drink a fuck ton of caffeine. You know, that's something I used to do when I was younger. You know, and I'm 26 now, and it's not as fun, and it definitely fucks your body and your sleep schedule and shit. But this is a special occasion. You know, this is something me really working real hard to get something out. So I'll probably take a little bit of extra time, but it's not going to be much.
Spend that time polishing this one thing, because as you're polishing, you're going to find things that you dig at, right? So when you're making a game, it's not as if good game designers know, you know, this is it, right? What they got really good at during their experience in the industry is digging. So you make something and then you feel it's good. Something in you feels it's good, it's interesting, it's weird, it's different, you're happy with it. But you don't know what it is. Your first job as a designer is to figure out what that is. What is the thing that's interesting? What's the thing that made you go, this is good? Is it the movement? Is it the jump? Is it the interaction? Is it that it's a new type of interaction? Is it something you've never seen before? Is it clever? Is it the art style? Is it the music? Is it the fact that the music is connected to the movement? Is it that the art is connected to the movement? What is interesting?
And that's the thing that I'm really going to have to try and figure out. And it's something that I want to make sure that I'm focusing on, is I'm not coming up with this like dreamy overall concept, you know, a vague concept. I want to make sure that I'm focusing on a mechanic, like a thing, the main thing that you're doing during the game, and make that feel good, and as good as it can be. I'm bad about hyper focusing and not remembering to eat or sleep or bathroom for a while. Yeah, no, same. I take Vyvanse for my ADHD, and it's been fantastic. It's helped me a lot for focusing on like art and music and all that during the day. The only thing that I regret about taking Vyvanse is that during the week it's wasted on me going to work and doing things that I don't actually really want to do. And that's it gets me through the day. Like, don't get me wrong, it helps me a lot, but when I'm during the weekend, when I'm working on things that I want to work on, is when I get the most value out of my Vyvanse. But when I'm on my Vyvanse, I don't remember to eat. I don't eat for like the majority of the day. And the same thing with like going to the bathroom or anything like that. I will just sit and like hyper focus on the thing that I'm doing for multiple hours. But I'm excited to I like getting the most value out of my medication, you know? So like this weekend I'm going to be getting all sorts of value out of that, you know?
Is it a cool double jump? Is it a way of speaking to another character that is interesting and makes you feel things? What is it? What is interesting? If you spend 44 hours polishing it, you have a lot of time to figure that out. But if you don't, if you just keep adding, what you're going to do is not make the game better. You're going to muddle it. Because you've got 48 hours. You maybe got time to dig at one thing. You don't have time to dig at all the things. So every time somebody adds something, and this is a very common mistake people make, is they think games get better when you add more stuff. A good design isn't when you can't add things anymore. A good design is when you can't take anything away anymore without it breaking. Okay? So when you're making something, find that little core, that thing that you're trying to make, and see what's interesting. Find that. Polish that. That is the diamond of your game. That's the interesting part of your game. Don't go and build. If you find something very valuable, a beautiful gem or something, the way you deal with that is not by building a house around it, right? You don't just put dirt.
You're reminded by
around
me
it
to
and be
go
like,
get
"Let's
food
add
or
more
whatever.
stuff,
No meds for me.
and then we'll see what happens." No, what
Sometimes,
you do is
yeah.
you take the gem.
How's it
and
going,
you put it in a
BJP?
glass
Nice to
case
see
so
you.
can see it perfect.
Thanks for thanks
do that
for
with your game. Think
being
about
here.
your game like
I
that.
always appreciate your presence. But yeah, I'm just prepping for the Ludum Dare stuff this weekend. So, and we're probably coming up on the end of the stream since I've updated most of my stuff. But I hope you'll join me this week because it's gonna be a lot of streaming. It's gonna be hours and hours and hours of streaming. So I hope you're able to stop by a little bit and hang out. Maybe give some give some feedback and ideas. But yeah, that's the main thing. The main thing that I'm going to be trying to keep in mind the entire time that I'm doing the game jam is that I need to find one or two things to focus on. One or two things to polish. And I need to not add anything else after that. Don't add, only cross off, only polish. Because otherwise I'm just going to end up getting into feature creep, and that's not going to be fun. I feel like I have COVID. I mean, I took 2 tests and they're both negative, but I don't trust them. Oh God, yeah, no, same. I've had a few times in the past that I think there was this one time that I had strep throat, I think, or my doctor told me that I had strep throat, and it turns out that Pizza ended up getting it, and she went to go get a strep test, and when she got the strep test, it said that she didn't have strep, and but she took a COVID test and it said that she didn't have COVID. So I was like, I don't know who to trust. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, recently I did actually end up testing positive for COVID for the first time. And I was like, okay, I must definitely have it this time. And oh yeah, and by the way, if you want to take part in the Ludum Dare, there's still time, I think. I just got a booster today, so I'm hoping to keep avoiding catching the big C. Yeah, I am double vaxxed, or I'm fully vaxxed, and I have my booster. What? What kind of world do we live in where the big C doesn't mean cancer and it just means COVID-19? But yeah, I'm fully vaxxed and I got my booster shot and I still got it, and it fucking sucked. Like, it was so bad. Like, probably a week I felt really, really bad. And I was just thinking, like, I almost got to 103-degree fever, and I was like, if I wasn't vaccinated, how much worse would this be? Like, it felt terrible. So I can't imagine. I can't imagine how it would be if I wasn't vaxxed. But yeah, if you still want to join Ludum Dare, there's still time, and there are people looking for people to join them in doing various tasks in their team. I'm not doing a team, but there are people that are doing the jam that are looking for team members. So if you have arts talents, audio talents, anything like that, programming, you might be able to find somebody who needs your work, and you have a weekend to spare, you know. A few people around me have had COVID recently, so there's a very, very good chance it got to me. Yeah, that's been a big thing for us too, with living with 3 people, is trying to figure out when one of us gets COVID, it's like a crapshoot of like whether all of us are going to get COVID. Or luckily, both the times that we've had somebody that's gotten COVID, we've just stuck them in another room, and everybody else has managed to not get it. Fingers crossed on that, you know. The 4-way out of ladies backing their fridges with pickaxes. What? Ladies smacking their fridges with pickaxes. It's like Minecraft except for moms. What? Okay, let's see if there's anything crazy. Didn't catch the brand name. I would I don't even know what brand I would think would make an ad like that, you know? Okay, so made blank Godot. Oh, this is Papa Bird. this is the Papa Bird post. Made blank Godot project called LD51, which I connect to GitHub using GitHub Desktop. That might be a good idea to connect it to GitHub. Download and install the export templates for 3.5. Create a template, game description, and cover image for both this gem and future ones. There's a starter template. GitHub Desktop is the only way I use GitHub, if at all. I hate Git in general. There is a starter template. Let me see if... I think this is a post that I've looked at before. Yeah. So this is a starter template that we can use. I might use it. Just because it has some like transitions. Like I've always wondered how you would transition from scene to scene. So in like a pause menu or whatever, I think the only thing I'd be worried about is if it's not as configurable as I would like for it to be. So there's like, is this in GDScript? I guess I didn't check. Yeah, it is in GDScript. Okay. I'm familiar with scene transitions, but not like fancy ones. Just get new scene and load it. Yeah. Even a quick project hacked out during a game jam. Such a thing as a title, crediting your work and the work of others, instructions on how to play the game, transition effects, and a HUD with pause, game over, and settings dialogues. So it's somewhat configurable. But we can also modify the scenes if we wanted to. There's a transition manager that transitions from scene to scene, screenshot manager, cover image generator, and there's a bit of configuration that we would have to do for that. How to play text settings, volume settings. Interesting. The project starter has 3 buses and therefore 3 separate settings to volume. How does that? Oh, it's audio stream players probably. Okay. Yeah, I forgot that Godot also has like audio tracks and shit. Damn, GitHub can recognize GDScript now. That's neat. Yeah, I was thinking that too when I was looking at it. There were like languages, GDScript. Fantastic. So there's fonts. There are 3 font resources for titles, buttons, and text. These are located in assets/fonts. Title scene, game title, credit scene, how to play, settings, volume settings, control. Player settings, save files. Save files are also a thing that I'm going to have to maybe look into if my game would require or would benefit from having a save system. Button transition feed, in-game dialogues, game over dialogue. The game over dialogue automatically appears when the game_over action is pressed. Of course, there's no button for this. You must send this action in code to initiate the game over dialogue. That's an interesting way to do it. Other dialogues. So there's a transition manager, screenshot manager, cover image generator. Interesting. Yeah, I might need to download this. There's also like a helper pack. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll probably download it. Project.godot. Actions. That's the only thing that I never know how to download things from GitHub. Let's see. Oh, Christ. It's the code button. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah. Download zip. Yeah, we'll download that just to... I'll check it out probably in my free time. I also made a helper pack with useful utilities and components. I'll download that as well just to take a look at it. All right. So there's that. I appreciate the hopefully my comm read jittery and anxious. That's exactly me. But I'm glad that you don't have school stuff to worry about. Okay, so somebody made a Tetris in their own programming language. I can't imagine making my own programming language. I don't think that's something that I'm somebody that I'll make games and do all sorts of like technical shit and learning, but I will never make my own programming language. That sounds like hell. Let's see. A lot of people are posting their past jams. That was really cool. And this was the main post from Mike Kasperzak at POV. He's the person that I think he started the jam. So he made a really long post about reflecting on Ludum Dare. I think one of the cool things that's going to be coming is that they're teaming up with a service provider called Akamai to get game hosting on the Ludum Dare website, which would mean that people would no longer need to host their shit separately. and they would just be able to post it straight to the Ludum Gear website, which makes sense and would be very, very useful, I think. I'm out of town this weekend with no access to my computer. Amazing. Okay. Yeah, a lot of IMINs. Fixing the input system. Every time I see this, I'm like, oh god, do I need to make an input system? And then there's also been a lot of posts about people using AI art generation to make like to make like environments and shit like that. Godot is so good with its own input system. Yeah, it looked pretty intuitive to do, so I'm not too worried about it. I think actually this input system thing that they were talking about is just for Unity. Yeah, that looks like Unity. So I'm glad I'm not using Unity. Really want to get this done this year. Preparation 1. Yeah, there were some people who were deciding on like tile sizes and stuff. I'm going to be doing pixel art, so that might be something I need to decide on as well. Like, you can literally do the letter A or physically the location of the letter A. Ooh. And this was my post on the AR art generation. Basically, my whole thing was just that my main qualm with AI art generation is that it is trained off of stolen art. That's it. Nothing else. I don't care if it's easier, if it's anything like that. Whatever makes it easier for people to make art, I think is a good thing, but not at the cost of using stolen art. So, and a lot of people are saying that like because of that exemption in the compo thing where it said content generators are allowed, in fact they're encouraged, and was talking about the audio sound effect generator, which I do have, by the way. I'm not just going to be doing sound effects in Studio One by myself. I am actually going to be using SFXer, I think. But yeah, they said the main thing that they were like, well, if we can use sound effect generators, why can't we use AI art generators? And the major difference is that AI art generation tools are trained off of work that was stolen. In a lot of cases, that is. Not in every case, but in a lot of cases they are. And that's the main difference, because like sound generators aren't like that. I like Foleying my sound effects myself in Audacity. Yeah, you know, I thought about like maybe going into the kitchen or taking like some random items around the house and just kind of like making random sound effects in my mic. But I'll mess around with SFXer at least a little bit. Yeah, I like the stolen art ones just for inspiration and humor. I love plopping a good Barbie Dreamland horror game into Crayon, but I wouldn't use them for games unless very tiny things like background portraits in a house or something. Yeah, and that was my case too. I was like, you know, even if they are used, like even if it is even if they are trained off of like stolen art or whatever, if you modify it enough after the fact, like actually put effort into getting it to be unique and fit into your game, that's fine. I think, especially in the jam. The compo might be a little bit different, but in the jam, since you can use third-party assets and stuff like that, I don't think it's that big of a deal. My entry for 50 was popular for my single clink sound I made just tapping a cup with a spoon. That's amazing. That's awesome. Yeah, yeah, voice dysphoria, definitely. I think if I were to put I'm a vocalist, so I'm really used to hearing my singing voice and like my streamer voice and shit like that, so I'm not too like dysphoric about it, but there are some times. There are some times where like I'll hear my voice and I'm like, I don't know, I don't like that. But yeah, I'm gonna mess around with either real sound effects with like real instruments and shit, because I think my microphone's pretty okay for doing that kind of stuff. But yeah, if there are any sound effects that are missing that I just can't recreate with a real thing, I'll just use SFXer. I love voice acting, but I also hate hearing my AFAB voice so much. Yeah. I like voice acting as well. It's but when I get into like doing female voices, like during my Golden Sun stream, there were a few times where I was doing like the female voices. I was like, I don't sound female enough, and I don't like that. And I don't know. I like being able to like switch between. I think that's like a goal for me. Like that's the source of my dysphoria in some ways, where it's just like I want to be able to switch between these at will and sound good in either way. Like I want to be able to do both. But if I can't do both, it makes me feel bad. Like it makes me feel weird. So that's yeah, I want to be able to give a performance both ways, and sometimes it's just it's hard, but I've been working on it. It's been fine. Yeah, streamer voice, singing pop punk, having my streamer voice, screaming, because I do a lot of metal vocals. Screaming really has helped me gain more access to, or more awareness of the muscles and shit in my throat and mouth. And that's helped me a lot, kind of dial in that like switch up, but it's still not quite where I want it, but I'll get there. I want to do whatever I want with my voice, but I have my default rest at male. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I'm very comfortable with where my voice rests in a lot of ways. I'm not uncomfortable with it. I would just like to be able to do a female voice, you know? But yeah, I just said overall, if you're going to be using AI art gen, I think the most important thing to think about when you are making a game with AI art gen is that, especially right now, because all of us game devs are artists, right? In some way. And if you're going to be having primarily other artists judge your work, and there was a straw poll going around on the LD Jam forum where they were like, should we be able to use AI art gen? And it was like very like harshly split. It was like 48% said no and like 52% said yes. And like, even though the majority did say yes, that 48% is concerning, because it means that when you release your game and like link it on LD Jam, it means that there is potentially going to be 48% of the people that will see your game will be turned off from it. It's going like right out of the gate. If they know that you're using AI art gen, there's a subset of people that are just not going to support your game. They're not going to like it. And it's going to affect the reputation of your game. And so I think that's the overall important thing that I said. I was like, no matter of what your opinion is on AI art gen, the technicalities of whether you can or can't use it, whether it's actually trained on stolen art or not, regardless, it's going to damage your reputation for a certain subset of people, however big that is. Obviously, you don't need to care about that. Like, not everybody enters Ludum Dare to be rated well. But if you care at all about it, it would be better, literally just better if you did shitty art. Just did like shitty programmer art. It would probably be more charming too. You know, I think of some games like, there have been a lot of like RPG Maker games and like games like Hylix and shit like that have like really crunchy, like crusty art that like was done, that you feel like was done really fast or whatever, like regardless if it was or not. But I've played a lot of games or seen a lot of games that have that crusty art, but people love them. They think that they're fantastic. Great games. Yeah, there is a charm, and like art isn't about the technical prowess. Art is about the expression, and it's what you're communicating, and it doesn't matter how good it is technically it is, you know? And so I think like it would probably just be better just to make shitty fucking art and make your mechanics great and make the music great and all that, instead of just doing AI stuff, because it's a really volatile thing right now. It's like a lot of people have different opinions on it, so. Yeah, and that's another big thing too, is like your intent with the AI art gen makes a big difference as well, where it's like if you use AI art gen, try your best to be as transparent as possible at how you used it, how you modified it, what your intention for it was. Because if you're using AI art gen just as like I'm gonna press a button or type a prompt and I'm gonna get art and I'm just gonna use that unmodified, no intention, it's just like I just want to make art real quick, you're probably not going to be rated very well, and you probably will actually get rated worse because people are just like, you use this specifically just to get art real quick. But if you're using AI art generation in an intentional way, in a way that's artistic, and like you modified it to like fit your game and your theme and all that. I think that's a good idea. Like that's fine. And I also left this note that I like to relate AI art tools to RPG Maker, or like when Unity first came out, because people were like, RPG Maker. Well, I don't think people actually said this about these things, because they are a little bit more complex of tools than just type a prompt and you'll get a game or whatever. But Unity and RPG Maker were plagued with people that just stole assets, threw them together to make like really cheap games that were low effort, especially mobile games. But like RPG Maker and Unity have bad reputations for I'm artistic. RPG Maker and Unity got bad reputations because there was an abundance of like really cheaply made low effort games that used assets that were not that were not owned by the person making the game. But there were people also, on the other hand, that used Unity and RPG Maker to make fantastic games, and it was because the intention, the artistic vision, and the unique way that they used the assets that they had and all that. So I think there are ways to use AI art gen in unique ways, but it just feels like most people that are like, can I use AI art generation, are probably just like the same like crypto bros that thought that NFTs were like neat, and they're just like, I'm gonna type this prompt and just throw this into the game. Like there was an AI art generated game that popped up the other day, and I was like, what the fuck is this supposed to be? It just looked completely like it looked like something I would find in like Mugen or something like that. Can't wait for NFT enabled crypto entries. Oh fuck, I don't think that'll happen. You know, I'm actually curious, because there were Ludum Dares that happened during the NFT craze. Like, I wonder if I go back in the Ludum Dare forums or something, if there were people that were debating like whether you could use NFTs in your Ludum Dare game. Vomit. Yeah. The NFT gaming sphere is here. It's the greatest, isn't it? I think it's on its way out for sure. I think right now more people are thinking about the AI art gen, but yeah, I can say I didn't see any posts like that when I was there the past 2 jams. It was all COVID things. Yeah, I guess it is. Those things were both probably competing for attention. But yeah, I think that's mostly gonna be it. Like, I think I just wanted to download that template, make sure everything was updated, and kind of just talk about how things are gonna go, because when the Ludum Dare, when the theme goes live, we are going to be like, I'm gonna be going straight into work, like straight into work mode, brainstorming, getting things. Your hair looks cool, Rivet 77. Also, hello, I just found the stream. Hey, how's it going, Space Engineer? I regret you finding it just now, because we're about to probably end. But just to give you the rundown, today was mainly just me testing out my overlay, making sure that all of my software was updated. We went through a bunch of the Ludum Dare posts and the rules and what my intentions are going to be. Thank you for the follow, Space Engineer 86. I really appreciate it. I hope to see you. If you're not taking part in the Ludum Dare, I hope to see you this Friday at 6 p.m. when it kicks off. I'm going to be streaming all weekend from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. on Friday night, and then from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. And it's just going to be all me working through my process. I'm not going to be doing anything like super entertaining. You guys are mostly going to be acting as my rubber ducky for programming. But I want to document my process so that I can look back on it the next time that I do a jam and see where I can improve. But yeah, today was just the prep stream, trying to figure out, make sure all of my shit is updated, everything's ready to go, and then just kind of letting you guys know what my intentions are, what my plan is, what the rules are and stuff, so that we don't have to waste any time on Friday figuring that shit out. But yeah, there's a lot of I'm excited. You know, it's gonna be fun. Yeah, and Pizza's gonna be right here next to me, rubber ducky. Shrimp's gonna be behind me as the shrimp ducky. Rubber shrimp. Might come by to see what non-entertaining code stream looks like. Always thinking about if I want to be a code streamer or a game. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be completely honest right now. Like, no, not even saying it's going to be quiet. I have gotten more viewers today in this 2-hour stream on a Wednesday than I ever have in my entire streaming career. I've been streaming for 2 years, and I've been streaming I've been streaming JRPGs and games and shit. I have never gotten this many viewers just spontaneously for fucking software and game development. Like, my category right now is software and game development, and obviously it's probably helped a bit just because Ludum Dare is happening, and like a lot of people are frequenting the website and probably saw my shit on the sidebar. But I've had a lot of viewers today, and I'm excited to see if there's going to be anybody that stops by this weekend to check this out. But to be honest, if this game jam ends up getting me a lot of viewers, a lot of followers, and it ends up being successful, I will definitely consider doing more game dev streams and just like art streams in general. Because I'd always wondered how those would turn out, and like if I would get a lot of people or if it would be worse than my gaming streams. But if it turns out to be better, you know, I might just turn into a fucking art game dev streamer, you know? Wow, Big Mood, I had 1 viewer on my last stream, but I genuinely thought you probably pulled like at least 10 per stream because you have like 100 more followers. Oh no, my regular streams, I think as of late this year, I probably get a max of 5 viewers on my game streams, and I'll get like maybe 2 or 3 followers a month. And that's fine, you know. Like I do it mainly just to play through the JRPGs that I want to play, and that's fine. But yeah, I always worry code streaming won't do well with me because I'm so quiet in my head when I code. I'm actually concerned that I'm going to want to talk too much during the jam, because I've talked a lot today and I haven't actually, like, I could have unpacked that whole starter template or whatever. Hey, thanks for following, Kuvi Man. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I hope to see you on Friday when we start the jam, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. But yeah, I'm gonna worry about talking too much because today I could have unpacked that starter template and set it up and shit like that, but I was just too busy talking about stuff. If you ever need a follower boost, I hit those 50 viewers of mine in one stream for a raid during Marbles on stream. Amazing. Yeah, I have been doing more. A big source of viewers and like connections and community and stuff has been raiding other streamers. Like there's one streamer called Firmth that I raided not that long ago that has a fantastic relationship with their viewers and all that. Let me. They play a lot of JRPGs and a lot of oh my god, did that link probably didn't work, did it? It took me to mine. Oh, it's because I did twitch.tv/Rivet77/Firmth as if I'm hosting Firmth. That's just like my default is like I'll type Rivet77 because I'm always used to just typing my own link. But yeah, Firmth is great. They have a very good energy with their chat. They have a lot of like stream interaction stuff. They're a ping tuber, by the way. But they play a lot of JRPGs and Ikaruga and they've been playing through Cuphead here recently. But yeah, Firmth. But yeah, I found a lot of community and a lot of viewers and stuff like that by just raiding other streamers and just hanging out in their chats and just trying to do streaming by yourself is hard. You know, you're not gonna grow very fast if you don't make connections, you know? But yeah, I hope that I've made somewhat of a connection with you all, even though this weekend I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of like talking. I'm going to make sure that I'm focusing on the thing that I'm doing and not just sitting here rambling on about like the things that I want to do, you know? But that's what this stream is for, the prep stream, you know, just kind of like introducing myself, introducing my plans, my the rules, my equipment, making sure everything's all set up, and then that way when we start on Friday, we can just get right into it and not have to worry about all that prefacing, you know? But yeah, I appreciate all of you. I have 10 viewers right now, and I You are all fantastic. Let me see if maybe I can just pull a raid, you know? If I don't come by your stream during the jam, good luck. Yes, you too, Papa Burb. Good luck with your game. Hopefully you finish whatever game that you're making. I hope that I finish my game as well. But if I don't, I'm gonna learn something. We'll all learn something. And if you tune into my stream, I hope that you learn something too, even if you aren't taking part in the jam, that you learn a bit more about the process of making games and music and pixel art and stuff, because I'm going to be doing all of that this weekend. I'm going to be doing pixel art, making little video game jams, and most of the time just doing fucking programming, trying to figure out what my mechanic is going to be. I look forward to yours. I followed you at some point already. Yes, I appreciate you so much, Papa Burb. You have been a gem to conversate with this evening. Can't wait to finally have energy and time for play and rate. Been learning too hard at streamer play and rate sessions. Yeah. Your first Ludum Dare. Good luck. Good luck. Yes. Yes. This is going to be my first Ludum Dare. I'm pretty nervous. But I think I'll get something out of it for sure. Whether it's a game or it's learning my limits, and where I can improve, I think that's going to be it's going to be valuable experience regardless. But yeah, thank you all for being here. We will be back on Friday I'll probably start the stream at 5:30, just to kind of like get ready for when the theme gets announced. And then as soon as 6 o'clock hits, we're just going to be diving straight in. And I hope you'll be there for me. If you're taking part of the jam, good luck. I hope to, especially Papa Burb, I will definitely be playing your game if it gets posted. Anybody that showed up here, I'll make sure to remember your name if you were taking part in the jam as well, and review your game as well. I'll probably be streaming the reviews of those games as well. But yeah, if you aren't taking part in the jam, I hope to see you in my stream. And if you are taking part of the jam, good luck. Have a good rest of your week. Rest up. Take care of yourselves. And I will see you all on Friday. Love the 5 end of the stream as like right after you direct speak to me. I'm sorry, Papa Burb. I love you. I will review your game. I will remember your name and review your game. And same thing with anybody else that is going to be taking part as well. I will make sure to keep a lookout for all of your guys' games to review after I'm done with mine. But yeah, thank you so much. Have a good rest of your week. And I will see you for the big day on Friday. Peace out.